So get on board. Gaurang Shah, thanks so much for joining in, Gaurang, and good morning to you. We want to talk about the pharma space in the context of Dr. Reddy's laboratories. Yes, there was a big miss on the margins front, but I think there are bigger problems. There is that niggling worry of the inspections by the US FDA once again coming in, and quite a few of these counters have ratcheted up over the last 12 months or so. So there's a lot of fear of profit booking taking place, and that is indeed evident. What does an investor have to bear in mind, though?
Well, if you're speaking specifically for Dr. Reddy's, Alex, then definitely this news flow has been an overhang on the counter for some time. On and off, you do get moves on the higher side, given the fact that it is associated with a sector which has been in the spotlight and has been on the radar of every investor. Whenever the correction comes in the market, I think you have money moving into pharma IT as safe haven bets as well, and more to the pharma because of the opportunity that lies ahead. Company specific, there may be issues. The one that we had with Sun Pharma a while back. Not to forget, you have another name in form of Biocon, which has been an underperformer despite of being associated with pharma sector. So you have, company specific performance, underperformance, given the way the news flow comes through. But our sense at Geojit is that overall pharma sector has been positive for a very long time. We have been positive on pharma. And along with pharma, Alex, let me say this, I think you cannot ignore diagnosis and healthcare related hospitals, etc., because they have also been performing extremely well. So it's a whole basket of healthcare, pharma, and diagnosis, along with that even insurance company, because indirectly that is also associated with a health of a person and of course the future outlook. So this sector will continue to be in the spotlight for all the good reasons, and given the pandemic and the opportunity for the Indian pharma sector to cater to the world, and not to forget, India is the pharmacy to the world, and there will be plenty of opportunities for some players. Some players may lag behind because of opportunity lost or news flows. But amongst the names in the pharma universe that we are positive on are Cipla, Divi's Laboratories, Biocon, which I just mentioned, Aurobindo Pharma, Natco Pharma, Cadila Healthcare, to name a few.
Okay. I do want to go across to you, Kunal. You spoke about the Nifty 50, but and you specifically spoke about Dr. Reddy's Laboratories as one of the counters that has gotten beaten down in the recent past. Taking from what Gaurang has just said on the fundamentals, though, do any of those stocks stand out to you for what an investor can nibble into using these corrections?
So, what happens typically, Alex, is that the first, sharp correction into stock prices generally, seem like very good entry point. But what happens is, there is typically an exodus, from, short-term market participants, who tend to, see the stock, dropping lower. And we've seen so many numerous examples where, stocks which have fallen very sharply are succumbed towards more of a drag, on the near-term chart. So, such kind of sharp reactions for stocks, results into downward trend for 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, depending on the kind of news flow and the events which continue to surround to the stock. So I believe for Dr. Reddy could remain in a similar kind of a trend. If you remember, we had a similar discussion for Tata Motors as well. Even though the news was very short-term oriented, but the stock from those 315, 320 levels as well, after that sell-off, has continued to drag lower and fell by another 10% post that. So I believe that that's the kind of a price reaction which one should be ready for on a stock like Dr. Reddy, because investors and market participants who've been stuck into the stock since the last maybe couple of months, they would take any kind of a short-term rally or an opportunity of a rise as a good zone or a good point to try and exit or lighten up their holdings in that particular stock.
Right. Thanks, Kunal, for that. And, we'll be focusing on the pharma sector in the next few days and months, I'm sure. In the short term, in the very short term, let's take a short break and be back on the other side with all the viewer queries that have been flooding in on our social media platforms.